Hi everyone, and welcome back to week 4 of CleverPatch Crafternoons. How's everyone's week been? Hopefully it's a little brighter thanks to last week's rainbow bunting. I hope you had a lot of success with that one and it's up in your window and brightening up the world around you. This week we're going to make a commemoration craft. Saturday is ANZAC Day, and with everything that's happening in the world, the dawn services and things like that won't be going ahead. So we thought we would take the time to make a paper wreath with some origami poppies. And that way you can hang this one on your door or pop it out on your letterbox on Saturday in commemoration of ANZAC Day. So what you'll need for this craft is a ruler, stapler, some sticky tape, a pencil, permanent marker, pair of scissors, green cardboard, red paper, and we actually have a template for this craft which is available online. You'll see the link in the post. But if you don't have a printer at home, that's totally fine as well. You can draw your own up on some white paper, and I'll go into that a bit more when we get started. Alrighty, let's get into it. So we're going to start with our green sheet of A4 cardboard. And what we're going to do is cut it in half lengthways to create 2 strips. Now I'm just going to fold it first to get that center line. And then I'll just use my scissors to cut down that fold. Now if you don't have green cardboard, or you've only got green paper, or you've only got white paper, all of that's totally fine. You just might need to use your markers or pencils or paints to decorate that piece of paper beforehand. So now we've got 2 strips of paper. And what we're going to do is lay these 2 short ends over one another slightly. And we're just going to use a stapler to hold that in place. So now we have one long strip. And what we're going to do is rule 2 lines measuring 3 centimeters in from each of the edges. So we'll take our ruler and make a 3 centimeter mark in from the left hand side, 3 centimeters in from the right, same at the other end. We'll also just make one midway down here somewhere, as our ruler is a bit short and can't reach all that way along. So now we have our marks. We simply join them up and rule with the pencil. So these lines are going to become a guide for where the center of our wreath will sit, because the next step is to create some fringing down either edge, which will turn into the leaves. So we start making small cuts, cutting down and stopping at those lines that we've created. And basically, I'm creating a fringe, roughly keeping the distance 2 centimeters apart along here, but you can experiment with that and have a really tight fringe, or loosen it up and have big fringing. It's completely up to you. That's one side done. We'll quickly go down the other side. I forgot to mention before, when using scissors, we do always recommend adult supervision, so we don't want any accidents to happen. all the way down the edge. And there we have both of our edges cut to create the fringing. What we do now is bring the short edges together, overlap slightly, and then just staple him in place. Now this is the base of your wreath. We're going to fold these pieces out. So all that fringing that you've created, you want to fold it so it sits out flat from the wreath. And this is making the nice leaves. I'll flip him over and do the same on the other side. What you could do if you wanted was get a pencil and maybe curl each of the leaves over the pencil to create a more curved texture to your wreath. Or maybe you wanted to get a bit more creative with your scissors and increase your fringing. But there you have the basic wreath. What we want to do now is create your origami poppies. So we'll take our red sheet of paper. Again, if you've only got white paper, just use your markers, paints, pencils, and colour that one in. And what we need to do is create 6 9cm squares. So we'll rule some markings along the bottom here, 9, 18, 27. Same along the top edge, making sure we're starting from the same side we did down the bottom. 27. And then we'll do some more markings here up the edges of 9 centimeters. So 9, 9, making sure we're starting from the same side over here, and 9, 9. Now we simply join our marks. There is going to be some excess paper in this one. Maybe you could keep that for a craft project later on. We never like to see things going to waste here. So there you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares, and you're just going to cut off this excess. So cut your squares up. Here's one that I prepared earlier, and we're going to make the origami poppy. Now I might just zoom in a little for this one so that we get a closer look. Okay, that's as close as we can get it, so hopefully that's close enough. And to start with your poppy, you're going to fold your square in half, diagonally point to point, open it back out, fold the other point to point, open it back out. Now we're going to flip the paper over, and we're going to fold the square in half again, but this time folding edge to edge, opening back out, and edge to edge, opening back out. Now you want to position your paper so these fold lines edge to edge are sitting horizontally and vertically, and all you need to do is pinch in from the side and then push inwards, and what you're creating is a kind of cross with 4 flaps. Now we take 2 flaps in each hand and crease down to create a little square. Now make sure the closed end is at the bottom and your open end is at the top. And we're just going to take each side point and bring it into the center, making a crease to have a nice line down the center there. We'll do the same from the other side. So it looks like that. We'll flip him over and do the same on the other side. And what you'll have at the end is a little kite shape. Now place a finger about halfway between the bottom point and this middle section here, and then with your other finger just kind of tuck it in to that top flap and push it down towards the bottom there. And as you do that, you'll see the other edges kind of pop out, and you just want to crease those down. And that creates 4 little petals. And to make it more poppy-like, we're just going to tuck the end points of these over the back to square off those petals a little, and so it looks more like a poppy now. And take your permanent marker and we're going to just colour in the centre here. And that is one poppy complete. That's what it looks like from the back. You've got a bit of a flap here that you can hold on to. You could also just pinch those creases, give it a bit more 3D look. So you're going to go ahead and create the other 5 poppies. I've already done that earlier. And now we need to attach them to our wreath. So I'll just zoom out again. Okay, so we bring our wreath back in, and these little poppies, all you need to do to attach them is take one of your little fringed edges, slide the flap at the back of the poppy over that little leaf, and then we're just going to take our stapler and staple him in place. So try and position your poppies evenly around. Doesn't matter if they get a bit squished while you're stapling them, we can just fold those back out. Make sure to keep your fingers out of the way while you're doing this. And if you don't have a stapler, you can always use sticky tape at this point if that's a bit easier. Oops. Drop the stapler. Last one. There we go. So there's your wreath, and the final step is to bring out our template. Now this template is available online, but like I said at the start of this video, if you don't have a printer at home, that's totally fine. You can draw up your own banner for this section. We just would make sure that your banner runs across the full length of an A4 sheet of paper, and that way it will be long enough to go all the way across your wreath. So we're just going to cut out our template. I'm going to leave a little bit of a white border around the edge, but you could cut it right down to the black line if you wanted to. You could also colour this template in if you wanted to add some more colour to your wreath. We're just going to leave ours plain for now. So there is our little banner. I'm just going to position that about 1/3 of the way down the wreath. I'm just going to use some little bits of tape in behind to hold that in place. There we go. This second piece of the template is just a plain strip, and what we're going to do with that one is create our handle. You could easily just cut a nice strip of paper if you don't have the template at home. So to make the handle, you want it to sit on this top bit here. We're basically going to create a loop with some ends that will tape down. So I'm just going to bend the paper at the end there. And I'll use those tabs to stick down with tape. Make sure it's nice and firm. Oh, there's a bit off center. Might have to just move him over a bit. It's always good to check these things. So we'll just re-stick that one down. And there you go. Your wreath is ready to hang on your door or out on your letterbox in remembrance for ANZAC Day. Well, that's another week done for CleverPatch Crafternoons. I hope you've enjoyed making your commemoration wreath for ANZAC Day. If you are after any more ideas, we have lots available online if you head to our website, cleverpatch.com.au. And in the drop-down menu under the Ideas tab, you'll find a variety of different categories, and I'm sure there's something there for everybody. Also, remember to share with us your projects that you've been making at home. Tag us in on the socials or send us a picture. We do love seeing what you're creating. Thanks again for watching, and you will see us same time, same place next week. Until then, happy crafting!